The WWE have to decide who Roman Reigns will face in the main event of WrestleMania 40, defending his WWE Championship. It will either be against The Rock or Cody Rhodes. This is the place where we talk about wrestling realistically, what is best for business and best for the fans, what I want to see and what you lot want to see. So make sure you comment down below who you want Roman Reigns to defend his WWE Championship against in the main event of WrestleMania 40. With The Rock returning, it's become a clear favourite that has got to be the match. The man's never around. Roman Reigns is in the peak of his career. The story writes itself. The tribal chief, the head of the table, the bloodline. This is a family storyline which has been going on for years, and people have been begging for this dream match. If they end up doing it in the main event, it will be box office, it will be must-see TV, it will be one of the biggest matches WWE have ever put together, story-wise and in the ring. My issue, if they did go ahead with that match, is as great as Cody Rhodes has been this year, since he's returned to WWE and the whole of 2023, it will leave him without a clear path to a match at WrestleMania. Now, you could give him the feud with Randy Orton, but to me that would seem a bit rushed. I believe that storyline has got real legs on it. It's got a great legacy, no pun intended, where they could feud for the WWE Championship for many months the same way Randy Orton did with John Cena or like with Edge in the past. I think rushing it for WrestleMania will be a bit wasteful for the potential and money they could be making with that match. So if not Randy Orton, then maybe Drew McIntyre. He doesn't seem to have a clear path on who he will be fighting at WrestleMania, and yet again, a great superstar. But my issue with Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre is actually how much will we care for the feud. I personally don't see it at the moment. They could build it differently, but how I'm going to care to watch Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre? What are the stakes? Why? What does it mean? So if it is The Rock and Roman Reigns for the belt, then I do worry about Cody Rhodes, and I do believe he deserves a great slot on the card, not just being chucked away for like some Money in the Bank IC belt or something else. He needs a proper feud with a proper match because he's that good for the company, and probably the face they'll be running the place soon. So you could scrap the Rock idea and just go for what I believe WWE were planning in the first place, which was Cody Rhodes to get his revenge on Roman Reigns from last year's WrestleMania and win the WWE Championship, meaning he would have finally finished the story on the biggest stage of them all. The glaring issue with this one is if you've got The Rock available and lingering around WWE, you need to take advantage of that as much as you can. You need to get him in the ring, if possible, as much as you can. If he's talking about having a match with Roman Reigns, then you need to do it. I would not rely on the man to say maybe for next year's WrestleMania or a Saudi show down the line. If he's there, take it, because we've seen it in the past when Hollywood calls or something comes up, he's a busy man, he's the busiest man in Hollywood, they say. We won't get the match because The Rock is never there, and Roman Reigns at the best of times is a part-time champion, keeping that belt hostage for the past 3.5 years now. So to get two part-timers in the ring at the same time could virtually be impossible. So when The Rock's there, you need to find a way to make it happen there and then, because I don't believe if they go for the feud with Cody, it may be great for business long term, but for the short term, to get the dream match that the people have been dreaming about for years, you need to find a way where you do get The Rock versus Roman Reigns. But if they are desperate to do Cody Rhodes and let him finish the story, you could have The Rock interfere in that match the same way that the Bloodline did for Roman Reigns last year, helping Reigns retain the title. My biggest issue with this one, the same way where The Miz and John Cena's feud happened and The Rock took over, Miz won the belt, but that is never the talking point in that match. The talking point is always The Rock interfering and how they built up the next night on Raw for The Rock versus John Cena in the main event of next year's WrestleMania, and I worry the same would happen to Cody Rhodes if The Rock interfered in the match. One of the biggest storylines has been going on for over a year now, in Cody Rhodes trying to finish the story, being overshadowed by The Rock returning and a potential feud of Rock versus Roman Reigns for next year's WrestleMania. I don't personally like the idea of that. As cool as The Rock interfering would be, I do believe it would take so much away from the Cody Rhodes story. So what seems to be an obvious answer is why not just put them all in a triple threat match? You get all the men in the main event, no one misses out. My biggest issue with this one is you've got two great stories there. And I know WWE at the moment like to intertwine storylines, which I actually think is great for the company and great for business. People have their own agendas with different superstars, heel or face. But with these stories being as great as they are, I think forcing them in just to get every man in the main event here, I think it's a waste. I think you're throwing money away. You've got a whole Cody Rhodes finishing the story there, and you've got the Bloodline story there. I think forcing it into one isn't a smart idea, and even for the match, it might be a great match, but it's not what we want to see. We want to see Roman Reigns versus The Rock and Cody Rhodes finishing the story. So that also means it doesn't have to be Roman Reigns. He takes the belt off. It's not Roman Reigns his main issue. The main issue is winning the belt. So potentially Roman Reigns could lose it beforehand at the Royal Rumble when he's in a fatal 4-way match with Randy Orton, LA Knight and AJ Styles. It fixes a lot of problems. Roman Reigns loses the belt. Then you could have Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania still. And then you could have Randy Orton win the belt and allow him to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania for it. So everyone wins in that scenario. My issue again with this one is I know WWE love to say every match is a main event match, especially at WrestleMania, but we all secretly know the main event is the last match on the card. The same reason why CM Punk left WWE 10 years ago, because they put The Rock and John Cena in there when he was the biggest star, which Cody Rhodes is the biggest star at this moment in time. You're not overtaking Roman Reigns versus The Rock, and on night one I believe it should be Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, and I don't believe CM Punk's come back to not be in the main event again in such a mega match for the world title. So you could have Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. It'd be a great match, but that really is a main event match. So I'm thinking maybe hold that. And the biggest glaring issue with that one, more than anything, as well as it fixes a lot of problems, after Roman Reigns keeping the belt hostage for 3.5 years, I don't think it should be won in a fatal 4-way match by a guy who's not really needing the rub of the belt. Randy Orton is a superstar in himself, and him winning the WWE Championship just to potentially lose it a month or two down the line to Cody Rhodes, I don't like the idea of that. I believe the person that beats Roman Reigns needs the same rub that Undertaker gave Brock Lesnar when he defeated the Streak. Brock Lesnar became a monster for the next 2 years, destroying everyone that came close to him. And I believe if you make the WWE Championship a hot potato just to get different storylines in and feuds for WrestleMania, I think is a waste of 3.5 years of Roman Reigns holding the belt. You need to give that big moment to someone who's going to be the face of your company for the next few years, and I believe Cody Rhodes is that guy. So for me, out of all of those scenarios, as great as they all are potentially, and it leaves WWE in a good place, it's better to have these problems than to have some matches that people don't care about. WWE win in this scenario. So for me, you must do The Rock versus Roman Reigns, because you don't know if it's going to happen again, and that is a dream mega match. It does leave Cody Rhodes in a bad position, but I think you've got to sacrifice that, unfortunately, because of how big that match of Rock and Roman is. And I still believe Cody should be the one to beat Roman Reigns. Just wait a bit longer, go to SummerSlam. I don't think his momentum will decrease that much from WrestleMania to SummerSlam if they book him right. Roman Reigns obviously defeats The Rock at WrestleMania. There is no scenario where I think The Rock should be going over in that match. If you really want, Roman Reigns can disappear until SummerSlam, but I think build that up properly and let Cody Rhodes finish his story at SummerSlam, win the belt. Roman Reigns can disappear until the Rumble or next year's WrestleMania, and then everyone wins in that scenario. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.